नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
ओम 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 नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
अष्टध्यायेषु भद्रेषु
नित्यं भागवत सेवया
नित्यं भगवती सेवया।
भगवते उत्तमश्लोके
भगवती उत्तमश्लोके
भक्तिं भवतिर्नैष्टिकी।
भक्तिं भगवती नैस्तिकी।
कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय
कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय
देवकीनन्दनाय च
देवकीनन्दनाय च
नन्दगोपकुमाराय
नन्दगोपकुमाराय
गोविन्दाय नमो नमः।
गोविन्दाय नमो नमः।
Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees for the morning Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. Today we are going to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 6, text number 21. The canto name is The Cosmic Manifestation and the chapter name is Purusha Shukta Confirmed. Please repeat the sloka behind me. Shriti Vichakrame Vishwan
श्रीति विचक्रमे विश्वं
Sasanasane Ubhe
सास सासनासने उभे
Yat Avidya Cha
यत् यत् अविद्या च विद्या च
Purusastribhya Chaha
पुरुषस्तुभ्यश्रयः
Hare Krishna. Sorry, there is an internet disconnect. Please repeat the translation behind me. Meanings behind me. Shruti, the destination of the living entities.
The destination of the living entity.
Vichakrame, exist comprehensively. Viswan,
From
the all-pervading personality of Godhead.
all the personality of Godhead.
Sasana, activities of lording it over.
Duties of lording it over.
Anasane,
None.
activities in devotional service.
To teach in devotion service.
Ubhe,
Then,
both. Yad,
yet,
what is.
what is
Avidya,
अविद्या
nuisance.
nuisance
Cha,
च
as well as.
as well as
Vidya,
Vidya,
factual knowledge.
factual
Cha,
knowledge च
and
and
Purushaha, the
Purusha,
supreme person.
the supreme
Tu,
person. To
but
but
Badya, For
Ubhayam.
both of them.
For both of
Ashrayaha, the
Ashraya.
master.
The master.
Translation prepared by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanavaranda A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Translation, please repeat behind me. By his energies,
By his energies,
the all-pervading personality of Godhead
the all-pervading personality of Godhead
is thus comprehensively
is thus comprehensively
the master in the activities of
the master in the activities of
controlling
controlling
and in devotional service.
and in devotional service.
He is the ultimate master
He is the ultimate master
of both nescience and factual knowledge
of both nescience and factual knowledge
of all situations.
of all situations.
Purport. The word Vishwan is significant in this verse. One who travels perfectly in every field of activity is called the Purusha or Kshetrajna. These two terms, Kshetrajna and Purusha, are equally applicable to both the individual self and the supreme self. The Lord in the Bhagavad Gita 13.3, the matter is explained as follows. Kshetrajnanam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetrashu bharata kshetra kshetnayar jnanam yatta jnanam matam mama. Kshetra means the place, and one who knows the place is called the Kshetra Jnana. The individual self knows about his limited field of activities, but the Supreme Self, the Lord, knows about the unlimited field of activities. The individual soul knows about his own thinking, feeling, and willing activities, but the Super Soul or the Paramatma, the Supreme Controller, being present everywhere, knows everyone's thinking, feeling, and willing activities. And as such, the individual's living entity, in the individual living entity, is the minute master of his personal affairs, whereas the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the master of everyone's affairs, past, present, and future. Vedaham samatitani, etc. Only the ignorant person does not know this difference between the Lord and the living entities. The living entities, as distinguished from incognizant matter, may be qualitatively equal to the Lord is cognizance, but the living entity can never be equal to the Lord in full knowledge of present, past, and future. And because the living entity is partially cognizant, he is therefore sometimes forgetful of his own identity. This forgetfulness is specifically manifested in the field of Ekapad Vibhuti of the Lord or in the material world. But in the Tripada Vibhuti field of action or in the spiritual world, there is no forgetfulness by the living entities who are free from all kind of contaminations resulting from the forgetful state of existence. The material body is the symbol of the gross and subtle form of forgetfulness. Therefore, the whole atmosphere of the material world is called avidya or nescience, whereas the whole atmosphere of the spiritual world is called vidya or the full of knowledge. There are different stages of avidya and they are called dharma, artha and moksha. The idea of moksha or liberation held by the monist in the matter of oneness of the living entity and the Lord by ultimately merging in one. In also the last stage of materialism or forgetfulness. Knowledge of the qualitative oneness of the self and the supreme is partial knowledge and ignorance. Also, because there is no knowledge of quantitative differences. As explained above, the individual self can never be equal to the Lord in cognizance. Otherwise, he could not place in the state of forgetfulness. So, because there is a stage of forgetfulness of the individual selves or the living entities, there is always a gulf of difference between the Lord and the living entity, as between the part and the whole. The part is never equal to the whole. So the conception of 100% equality of the living being with the Lord is also nescience. In the field of nescience, activities are directed towards lording it over the creation. In the material world, therefore, everyone is engaged in acquiring material opulence to lording it lord it over the material world. Therefore, there is always clash and frustration, which are the symptoms of nuisance. But in the field of knowledge, there is a devotional service to the Lord, bhakti. Therefore, there is no chance of being contaminated by the influence of nuisance or forgetfulness, avidya, in the liberated stage of devotional activities. The Lord is thus the proprietor of the fields, both of the nuisance and the cognition. And it remains the choice of the living entity to exist either of the above regions. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकये चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवाद पाशाश देशतारणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So this is the continuation of Brahma and Narada's discussion. Brahmaji is explaining about the different feature of the Virat Rupa of the Supreme Lord and about this material creation. Now, in this sloka, he is comparing with the spiritual world and the material world, also the Supreme Lord and the individual living entity. So, here it is confirming, Brahmaji is confirming Supreme Lord is the ultimate master of both the nuisance as well as the factual knowledge in all situations. That is the point he is stressing in this sloka. And if you see in the material world, everybody wanted to lording over the material, this material world. What other material things are there? Everybody wanted to be lording it over. Even somebody wanted to lording it over the other living entities also. For example, in the family, the head of the family, he wanted to lording it over to his family. He wants to control his family. And the little above, the corporators or the MLAs, that area, that city, they want to lording it over. Like that, people wanted to lording it over. Why the people have that propensity? Because Lord has the propensity. Since we are the part and parcel of the Lord, we also having that kind of propensity to lording over to the things. And also, when we compare, then immediately we cannot say Lord is Lord and we are equal. We cannot say. Qualitatively, we both are equal. Quantitatively, we are different. We cannot compare with the Lord, ourselves with the Lord. So many times Prabhupada give the example of gold mine and a piece of gold. So qualitatively, the gold mine and the piece of gold, both are qualitatively equal. If you compare the huge mountain of gold and a one piece of gold, quality wise, both are equal. But quantity wise, this is just a 1 gram and this big mountain is so much tons of weight. So we cannot compare quantity. So this is the way Lord also. Lord is a Vibhu, we are Anu. We are very, very small. Lord is very, very huge. And the living entity has the understanding of his own activity only. His thinking, feeling, willing, he can understand about his self only. He cannot understand others. But Lord is not like that. Lord is, since he is spread all over the Vasa Paramatma, he is sitting at the inside of the living entity. Also, as a Brahman, he was spread all over the places. Everywhere he is there. There is no place in this creation, in this material world or the spiritual world. There is not even a small piece of place where we cannot say Lord's energy is not there. So in such cases, Lord aware of all the affairs in the material world as well as in the spiritual world. That is, it is kind of suppose if you see if you see the big malls or big the shopping places, they kept the CCTV cameras and all. And then also otherwise you can see then the traffic also we can see the CCTV cameras. But one of the place, the person who is sitting and he is watching what the things are going on in this particular place. Suppose in the supermarket, if it is a huge supermarket, there are multiple CCTV cameras will be there. One of the control room will be there. From the control room, we will see the which floor and which place what is happening. Whether people are taking the things properly, are they spoiling the things, everything, or anything, any theft is happening or not. Everything, the one person will sit and watch. So if you get into the supermarket, from that time, we cannot think that, okay, I'm in this corner, I'm getting into this place, nobody is there around me, let me take something and put it in my pocket. We cannot do that because the intelligent person knows that somebody, it is there, the CCTV is there, somebody watching me from there is no private place, there is no secret place in the supermarket, somebody watching me from the control room, so I cannot do any nuisance. Like that, they will think and they'll walk gently and they will act gently in that place. And in the same case in the traffic also. Traffic also we saw there is a CCTV camera, so we should not cross the traffic roads. If we cross, then we will get a fine. So we will be controlled by them. Why we are controlled? Because somebody watching us. So the similar way in the material world also, it is always the Supreme Lord as a Paramatma. He is sitting in our heart, and also he is all pervaded. His energy is all pervaded all over the places. So there is no place Lord is not there. But we are thinking that, okay, only I am there, so I can do whatever I want. And that is the reason because of that knowledge is not there, people are doing all the unwanted activities, that silly activities, everything is happening because of that ignorance. The people don't have the knowledge that Lord is watching us like a CCTV. Everywhere Lord is there, and there is no place Lord is not there. So everywhere Lord is there, all are watched by the Lord. Whatever the activities we are doing, even if some activities, even though you are cross the traffic rules, you may escape from the traffic police. They may not catch you, but in the Supreme Lord's control, when he was the Supreme Lord, under the CCTV of the Supreme Lord, we cannot escape from any of the activities. If you do the unwanted activities, we will get the punishment accordingly. We have to go through the atonement. There is no other way, no other way, no other way. Yes, whatever the punishment, we have to go through. So that is the reason the person who understands the Supreme Lord, this is watching us, he is taking care of everything. We are nothing in this world. Then he will automatically take care of the devotional service, and they won't desire for any of these material things, because they understand that all these material things created by the Supreme Lord for our purpose only. So just wanted to, whatever it is necessary for our body and soul, we have to take. Remaining things, we have to left it over. We have to leave it. And also we should not indulge on the illusionary activities, whatever the Maya, wherever the Maya covered us, the illusion activities, in the sense Maya covered, we are thinking that we are the owner of this, I can do whatever I want. Okay, here nobody is looking at me, so let me do whatever the nuisance I can do. So this kind of thinkings, it won't come for the people who knows the Supreme Lord's presence everywhere. So some of the wrong propaganda done by the politicians and or some of the philosophers also. They are, because of they wanted to enjoy this material world. They wanted to glorify it. Because of that, in that individual propensity, what they are doing, they are propagating that there is no Lord, there is no God. It is just everybody, we are the God. Everything, all the nonsense things are propagated. So all of our activities are circled around this dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So it is here, Prabhupada is explaining about the moksha also. Moksha, it is some of the people, most of the people, they are thinking that it is oneness with the God. Moksha means, so we are seeing the movies, some of the movies, when we saw the movie, that what happened? The person who is about to die, there is a light coming out from his body. It will go and merge with the photo or the deity of the Lord. So then people are thinking that, okay, this is the things happening with us. Okay, when that at the time of death, what is happening? The soul is getting out and it is merging with the Lord. It is kind of a oneness theory. It is a monist theory. Monist means they will think that we are current fine, but they are propagating is their propaganda is at the time of death we will merge with the Lord. So merging with the Lord is never going to happen. It is never possible also, because Krishna himself is saying in Bhagavad Gita that to Arjuna that when the initially the second chapter he was saying all the kings when Arjuna and Krishna they were in the middle of the battlefield, and when Arjuna was not ready to fight, he was giving the reason that I'm going to kill all those people, and all their wives will be widows, all their children will be orphaned, and there is no social activities will be there. I will get a papa. All those things he was putting as a justification not to fight. And for that, Krishna started giving the answer. The first thing he was telling to Arjuna is, Arjuna, all these kings, you, me, we were there in the past, we are here now, and we will be there in the future. That means he is not saying that I will be there always. He is saying that you, me, and all those kings, everybody, every living individual, living entity, everybody will be there. Like that, Krishna is saying. That means it is not that only single person, it is Lord is not alone will be there always. It is all the living entities are eternal. There everybody will be there always. So some of the Mayavadis, they will give the example like all the rivers finally it will go and merge with the ocean. That means we are all called consider ourselves as a rivers. We are small rivers. We will if you go and merge with the ocean, finally we will become ocean. We will merge it with the ocean. That is the way. So they are comparing ocean as a supreme lord and all of the river as a individual living entity. Finally, what will happen? All the living entities, they will go and connect with the supreme lord. So they will give that kind of analogy. So, but when our when the Vaishnavas, especially or the Humanified Sampradayas, they will give that, they will, there is a small twist in that explanation. They'll say that, yes, we are also kind of we are in the, on the flowing river, like how the fishes are there in the flowing river, small fishes, and in the ocean also fishes are there. So the fishes, when it is, the river is connecting with the ocean, all the fishes shifted from this river to ocean. It will go and it will be there in the ocean. But even though it is there in the ocean, there is individuality. The fish which came from the river, that fish also will be there, which are the fishes which are there in this ocean, those fishes also will be there, but the individuality remain as it is. So this is the example. So that we used to give that we are all like a river fishes. We will go and merge with the ocean fish. That means the river is like a material world and the ocean is like a spiritual world. The spiritual world, already the liberated souls are there. They are serving the Supreme Lord. Their individuality also there. When we are in this material world, when we progress in our devotional service, at the time of death, when we remember the Supreme Lord, we will also get out of this material world. We will also get into the spiritual world. How the small pieces from the river to merge with we get into the ocean. The similar way, we are from this material world, we will be transferred to the spiritual world. So there also, our individuality will be there. Our individuality will be there, and all the other individual also will be there. We will all need to go and serve the Supreme Lord. It is not like we merge with the Lord and only Lord will be there alone. It is not like that. So that understanding we should have. So even though somebody giving that understanding, giving that that kind of ideology, they are saying something, then we can quote this verses and Bhagavad Gita, what Krishna is saying, and this what Brahma is saying in Srimad Bhagavatam. So all this Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, these are all the eye openers for us, all of us. Because earlier we don't have any knowledge. We were in the ignorance. We used to go to cinemas, we used to enjoy ourselves. We want to eat, we want to go eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. These are the four activities we used to do. But by the mercy of the Supreme Lord, by the mercy of the Acharyas, by the mercy of some of the devotees, we are able to get into the some Sukruti in the previous life. Because of that reason, we get into this kind of association. We are getting this clear and topmost knowledge, which is never possible in this material world. Even though the Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita books are widely available everywhere, and if somebody taking the book and if they are reading, they cannot understand that. And even when some of my friends, when they saw my classes, videos, recordings, they are saying that, okay, I couldn't understand whatever you guys are speaking, how to start, where to start. So somebody has the interest to start, but they don't know how to start. So even though we are telling that you need to spend some time for the spiritual activity, they say, no, I don't have time now. Easy way. They want the easy way to get everything. If anything is there, and in night I need to sleep, and morning I need to be there in the spiritual world. So they are thinking in that manner. So it is not possible that everything one night, it is not possible. So it is, there is a saying also, right? Rome is not built in one night. So like that, it is not possible to get into a single night. We can get all the knowledge and go out of this material. It is not at all possible. The only thing is possible in this material world is we have to we have to understand that Supreme Lord is the controller. He is the overseer. He is sitting in our heart as a Paramatma. He is all pervaded as a Brahman. So we are all under the control of the Supreme Lord. We are not the controller. We are the controlled by the Supreme Lord and his associates. So we are all controlled. So that position we have to understand. Then we have to think that, okay, my only work is understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead and how to go out of this material world. That is the only work, only duty for me in this material world. When the person understand this and work accordingly, only that kind of person can progress in bhakti and they can go out of this material world. Otherwise, somebody challenging the Supreme Lord, like, okay, let the Lord come, let me go and see. Like Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha kind of big Rakshasas, even though the three worlds were afraid of them, they were not able to do anything this. Then how we are very tiny. We are not even able to control our family members. So how can we can compare ourselves with the Supreme Lord and we are trying to master over everything? It is not at all possible. So whatever we are doing, it is a kind of a childish act. That's what Prabhupada used to say. But the child is trying to act. It's an imitation. It's a kind of an imitation. So when a father drives a scooter, the child who is in the front, he will keep his side in the front. And the child also hold the handle. And wherever the father is giving the brake and everything, and when there's a turning, the father will turn the bike. Just in the small child who is sitting on the bike also in the front, along with the father, is also trying to turn like the bike here and there. So then the small child which is thinking, the thinking that, yeah, I am the controlling this bike, like that he's thinking. But who is the controller? Behind this, who is sitting, his father is sitting, that the child's father is controlling the bike. But the poor child, what it is thinking? I am controlling the thing. So the similar way, we are thinking that we are controlling everything in this material world. But behind that, there is a Supreme Father's hands is there. The Supreme Lord's hands is there in all the activities. So when we understand that, that is the actual knowledge we should have and work accordingly, according to the scriptures, according to Lord, what he is saying in the scriptures. So if you follow that rules and regulations, whatever he is saying, definitely we will reach the ultimate destination, which is the spiritual world. There also, we cannot go and sit on the Singhasan and everybody will serve us. It's not possible. There also our position is servant. So our position is always, whether you are in the material world or in the spiritual world, servant is our position. So serving the Supreme Lord, either you are, wherever you are, whether you may be in the material world or you may be in the spiritual world, wherever you go, your position is always a servant. Serving the Supreme Lord is our activity. So that our duty. So that we have to understand and we have to do. If you take up that service, that devotional service in this material world, in very life itself, then automatically when we transfer the spiritual world, then there also we will continue with the same activity with the association of pure devotees. Here it is the condemnation in the spiritual world, that is only the pure devotees will be there. So When we need to go out of this our aim is to go out of this material world to stop this repeated birth and death. So for that, we should have the knowledge that Lord is the master of everything. He is fully knowledgeable. He knows present, past, and future, but we don't know. So we should, obviously, we have to surrender unto him and take our step according to the scriptures. So this is the knowledge we should have. Always we need to be under the guidance of a spiritual master so that he can give that knowledge and he can always remind us, you are not the master, you are the servant, so that we can make our life perfect. Hare Krishna. Grandraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. So much, Mataji, you can stop the recording, Mataji, because you are the host now. Hare Krishna. So much, Mataji. Okay. Thank you, everyone. We'll close the call.